The word is already out of your mouth before you know what happened. You bumped the coffee table with your shin and you said, sorry, out loud, to a table. And here is the strange part. You meant it. For a fraction of a second, some part of you genuinely felt bad for a piece of wood. You know this. The pen you knock off the desk, the door you close too hard, the phone you drop and then wince at like you hurt its feelings. You've said sorry to a wall in the dark. And every single time, a small voice in your head goes, why did I just do that? It's a chair. What is wrong with me? So here's the first thing right up front. Nothing is wrong with you. That sorry is not a sign you're anxious or weird or secretly a little bit crazy. It's the opposite. It's proof you're running some of the most advanced social hardware a human brain can carry, and it beats your own logic to the punch every single time. Sarah, you actually feel this one, don't you? What's going on in the body when that sorry just falls out?
Oh, completely. So the thing I always notice is the little laugh right after. You say sorry to the chair, and then you catch yourself and you kind of smile. Why did I just apologize to a chair? And that laugh is the tell. It means part of you was sincere for a second, and part of you knows it's absurd, and both of those are true at once. There's this warm, slightly guilty tenderness in it. Like you didn't want the thing to feel bad, and you know it can't feel anything. But the caring showed up first, before the knowing did.
Right. The caring shows up first, and it shows up first for a simple reason. It's faster than you are. You didn't decide to apologize to the table. You didn't think, this object has feelings, I should make amends. The word was out before any of that, before conscious thought even showed up to the scene. And in your brain, anything that fast is never a belief. It's a reflex, the same kind that yanks your hand off a hot pan before you feel the burn. But a reflex to do what, exactly? You don't flinch at a table, you apologize to it. That's a social move, the move you make with a person. So for a split second, your brain filed a wooden object under the same category as a human being. And here's the thing, you have been running this exact reflex your entire life. You just forgot, because you did this constantly as a kid. Sorry, Teddy. You tucked the toy in so it wouldn't be cold. You felt bad for the crayon you snapped. To a small child, everything is a little bit alive. The sun is happy, the broken cup is sad, the toy has a whole inner life. Jean Piaget mapped this decades ago and gave it a name, childhood animism. Kids hand out feelings and intentions to objects like candy. And the part nobody tells you? You never fully grew out of it. The reflex didn't die. It went underground. As an adult, your logic learned to override it in about half a second, so most of the time you never even notice it firing. But the wiring is still there. And when something happens too fast for logic to catch up, a bump, a stumble, a jolt, the old animist child gets to the microphone first. That's the sorry. It's a 4-year-old's instinct running under the floorboards of a grown adult. But that only explains why it feels natural. It doesn't explain why your brain would build that instinct in the first place. Why would evolution ever make you treat a rustling bush, or a shadow, or a table like it has a mind? That seems like a bug. It is not a bug. It is one of the most important survival tools you own, and to hear the cold version of why, you need Peter. Peter, why would a brain evolve to see a mind where there isn't one? That sounds like a mistake.
It sounds like one. It's the opposite of one. Run the math the way survival runs it. You're on the savannah, and the grass rustles. 2 options. Option 1. It's just the wind, but you treat it like a living thing, a predator, an enemy, and you freeze. Cost of being wrong? Nothing. You wasted 2 seconds and felt a little silly. Option 2. It really is a predator, and you treat it like the wind. Cost of being wrong? You're dead. So the brain that survives is the one that overdetects. It assumes a mind is there and checks later. Miss a real agent once and your genes end. Imagine one that isn't there 1,000 times and you lose nothing. Evolution is not looking for accurate, it's looking for alive.
So it's rigged to overfire on purpose.
On purpose. Cognitive scientists call it a hyperactive agency detector. The idea, from Justin Barrett building on Stuart Guthrie's work, that we evolved a system deliberately biased toward seeing minds everywhere, and once you know it's there, you see its fingerprints all over your life. You see a face in the front of a car, you name your car, you feel bad throwing out a mug you've had for years, you thank the vending machine. None of that is you being sentimental. That's the agent detector, always on, spraying, "There's a someone here," onto anything shaped even vaguely like it could be.
Huh. Okay, so that explains why your brain flags the table as a someone, but it still doesn't explain the specific word. Detecting an agent would make you freeze, or look, or brace. It wouldn't make you say sorry. Where does the apology come from? And this is where the two systems collide, and the whole thing clicks. Because you're not just running an agent detector, you're running a second reflex on top of it, one built for a very specific and very dangerous problem. You are a social animal. And for a social animal, the deadliest threat was never really the predator, it was the tribe. Conflict inside your own group, a rival, a grudge, a fight that spirals, could get you cast out, and being cast out meant death. So evolution handed you an emergency brake for exactly that, the appeasement reflex. The instant automatic signal that says, I mean no harm, let's not fight. A flash of sorry, a duck of the head, a softened voice. It's so overlearned, so hair-trigger, that it fires at any sudden jolt of conflict, before your logic can check who the conflict is even with. So the sorry isn't really aimed at the chair at all. Sarah, this is the part that gets to me. What is it actually aimed at?
At the moment itself, at the collision. Think about how it actually feels. There's that tiny spike of, oh no, something just went wrong. That little jolt of tension. And your brain's whole job, its oldest job, is to smooth that over instantly. To put out the spark before it's a fire. The sorry is aimed at the bad feeling of the bump. It's you reaching to make the moment okay again. The chair just happens to be standing where a person would be. It catches an apology that was never really about it.
The chair is collateral. The reflex was never about the chair. That's the answer to the whole thing. You don't apologize to the table because you think it's alive. Your agent detector flags it as maybe a someone. Your appeasement reflex fires to diffuse the tension, and both happen faster than the part of you that knows better. You would rather over-say sorry to a piece of furniture than risk, for even 1 second, having started a fight. That is a brain tuned all the way up toward keeping the peace. But now follow that thread one step further. Because if your brain reflexively appeases furniture, apologizes to a doorframe just to smooth a moment that had no one in it, then stop and ask the real question. What is that same reflex doing to you with actual people?
That's the uncomfortable part. The exact same wiring that makes you say sorry to a table is running every time you're in a room with humans, and there it's louder. It's the sorry you say when someone else bumps into you. The apology you tack onto a completely reasonable request. The instinct to shrink, to soften, to take the blame just to make a tense moment end. For a lot of people, that reflex isn't set to gentle. It's set to a constant hum of appeasing, of getting smaller so no one is ever upset, and they never trace it back to what it actually is, a survival brake, jammed slightly on.
And that's the thing worth carrying out of this. The reflex itself is not the enemy. It's the reason you're gentle. It's why you smooth things over, why you're quick to keep the peace, why people feel safe around you. In a species where a fight inside the tribe could be fatal, a brain that fires I mean no harm before it even thinks, that was pure gold. You inherited a very, very good one. So the next time you say sorry to a chair, don't wince at it. It's not a glitch. It's a 10,000-year-old peacekeeping system, so generous and so fast it can't even tell where the person stops and the furniture starts. The only thing worth learning is the line, that the chair never needed it, and that maybe, sometimes, neither did you.